You know, that recent heat wave we had may have had a lot of us hot, sweating, thirsty. Just think how it would feel if you were covered in fur.
Yeah, our pets, they can't tell us when they're overheating, and every summer that silence can turn deadly. We've got local attorney Ed Kardelis and Winni Walsh from the Humane Society to talk about ways to make sure your pets are staying cool. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Let's talk first about, Mike Morse Law Firm and why you guys care so much about animal welfare.
Sure. Well, the Mike Morse Law Firm, as we talked about before, is all about making Michigan a safe, happy place to live, for animals to live. And that's really important, especially with this crazy summer we've had, to really educating people, making sure they're aware that these animals, they need our help. They need our help to be safe in this extreme heat that we've had this summer so far.
And there's nothing more frustrating. I mean, it kind of sets you off if you see a dog in a car, right?
Absolutely.
You see that and you think to yourself, wish I could do something about that, call somebody, talk about that. Winni, it's something that people still don't seem to grasp fully how quickly and dangerous it could turn.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do still see it a lot, and it's one of those things where you might think it's cool enough outside. You're like, oh, it's only 85, 90, which to me is still very hot. Yeah. Be like, it's okay if I'm just gone for 10 minutes. It really isn't. I mean, it can go up 5, 10, 20 degrees, reaching over 100 in just 5 to 10 minutes, which is extremely detrimental to an animal's health. So it's one of those things where if you do have your pet with you, it's hot outside, and you know that you're going to need to go somewhere, you really need to make some plans in advance. You need to leave them at home. You need to come with another person so that you can stay in the car and really crank that AC for them. It really can just be so incredibly dangerous for them.
Well, and let's talk beyond the car, just going for walks. People don't necessarily even think like the heat of the pavement too can burn their little paws.
Absolutely. When it gets hot outside, and we've had a hot summer this year, and it is not over yet, but when it gets hot outside, you really need to kind of think about keeping walks to a minimum. If you can walk on a grassy area, it's definitely still warm. You still want to keep them short, 5 to 10 minutes, but it's definitely easier on their paws than walking on cement, or asphalt is really the biggest culprit. Man, does it suck in the heat. But also making sure, you're walking in the shade, you're walking on the grass, you're providing plenty of water breaks. You can also do for dogs a lot of indoor play instead of having them outside. You can do different, we call them enrichment activities, so stimulating their mind, even wrapping some treats up in a towel and letting them snuffle through, or you can buy your own snuffle mat or make one, or even Kongs or different things you can put treats in. Adele is just melting into the couch.
We didn't even introduce Adele. I'm sorry, Adele.
She's melting. She's melting into your pet.
She's loving life right now.
Living her best life right now. Some folks in our neighborhood noticed that they put they'll start out the day when it was really hot with a dog bowl full of ice, and they'll just stick it out by their sidewalk.
Yep.
That way, if anybody's walking around in the neighborhood and their dogs are getting hot, things like that are just ways you can help.
Absolutely. You can put dog bowls outside, and even for your own dog, having them play with ice is really fun. It's another great enrichment activity, and we actually at the shelter in the summer make a lot of popsicles. So we get pet-safe broth that we then freeze, and we put them in the kennel so that the dogs can lick them, and that's something really easy you can do at home. Of course, make sure the ingredients are dog safe. Like, we always look for ones that don't have garlic, a lot of salt, because those are not good for dogs, but there's so many different fun ways. And for any animal, just making sure you're not having them outside too long, cats as well, just making sure you're keeping them safe. If it's too hot for you, even if it's warm for you, it's probably too warm for them, especially if you have a dog with a scrunchy face like Adele. She gets definitely very warm.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, for you, what resources should people be reaching out to when they have questions? Maybe they think it's okay, but maybe not. What should people be doing?
Sure. I mean, a lot of it is common sense, right?
Sure.
I mean, if it's too hot, be mindful of it.
Right.
If it's sunny, be mindful of the pavement. But I know your local vet, I'm sure, will help you with any questions you may have. Or, feel free to do searches. But I always come back to common sense. I mean, would you as a human want to be left in a car if it's too hot? Would you as a human want to walk barefoot on black concrete? Use common sense in the summer just to make sure your animal's safe. That's the biggest thing that comes to my mind when you ask me that question.
Absolutely.
Well spoken. Of course, we're going to be talking about the little Adele here in just a little bit. And the Mike Morse Law Firm is sponsoring covering her adoption costs. So stick around for that. That's coming up. But any other questions that you have about anything legal, Mike Morse, there's your first phone call, 855MikeWins.com for more, or that toll-free number right there on your screen.